hang on, listen to this.
The fake rocket to the moon, April Fool's Day. What a coincidence.
I mean, Steve, you were saying it as well, but...
Did you fall for it? The fake rocket to the moon, April Fool's Day? What a coincidence. It took off on April Fool's Day.
The reason they took off on April Fool's Day isn't going to be to do with superstition about pranks. It's going to be because of a window, weather, like, seasonal, where the moon is. Stuff like that, isn't it?
You fell for it, right? Right. Big claim. Sounds just believable enough, right? You're completely ridiculous. How can a rocket go to the moon?
I mean, you will agree, even if you think NASA are fake and stuff, listen, even if you think NASA are fake and, like, the Earth is flat or whatever, you will agree that a rocket could reach the moon if the moon, like, on the premise that the moon exists, and, like, even if you don't believe that the Earth is this or the moon is that, on the premise that it is, if the moon is, and if that, and we have a rocket, I think, is it possible? Is it even possible?
High heels.
Where's Nancy? Well, I want it. Torture the battery boy.
Is it even possible that someone should be able to fire a rocket off up in the sky and it just go long enough and far enough that it should get to the moon?
Like, I haven't been able to do it for 60 years. Suddenly, on April Fool's Day, oh yeah, we can go to the moon. Doesn't matter about the field that humans can't pass through. No, they're up there. No, are you going to land? Oh no, we're not going to land. Oh no, we're just going to have a drive-by. We're going to go up for a drive-by. Do you believe that? Do you? They're saying NASA
flyby, I suppose. Going up in the rocket for a drive-by. Do you believe that? Do you? Well, bear in mind, right, that judge is currently ruminating on Alan's Remedies hearing, isn't he? And, like, I don't know, again, I don't think I should say the judge will look at this and see this. I mean, I can't say that, can I? Do you think this, like, what I'm saying is, do you think if the judge looked at this, do you think it would be better for Alan, actually, overall? Because the judge would say, I mean, I was going to throw the book at this man and make him pay a lot of money. He's obviously not there. He's obviously not all there, is he? So,
built a fake rocket.
Built a fake rocket. Did they, though, build a fake rocket? Wait, hang on. Wait, is he suggesting that they built a rocket just to... I thought if you fake it, they don't build the rocket. I would think... Like, if you build a rocket and you fire it off into the sky... It's not fake, is it? The fake bit would be it didn't end up going to the moon. They just sort of crashed it in the sea over there and you don't know. I mean, that's possible. But why go through all the trouble of making a rocket that goes nearly to the moon and then just fucking it off in the sea? Like, what? I wonder whether this is a grift or whether this is just, like, his honest, you know, thinks this is important to share with the world. Like, he's honestly this mad, isn't he?
So, thousands of engineers, billions of funding, years of testing, just to build a prop. Meow.
Well, that's why it would be unlikely, isn't it?
April Fool. They got to fire it, countdown, live cameras. But yeah, it's just a stage show. Because apparently it's easier to fake a moon mission now these days.
Well, these days it is much easier to fake than it is to do it. But then that's the case with everything, isn't it? Like, there's loads of stuff that it's easy to fake. And then you have to, like, ascertain what's real and what's fake, I suppose. That's the problem with the world. I don't know.
Than just going to the moon. The rocket's real. The science is...
Hang on. I don't know if you should say the rocket's real, because the headline on your picture here is... I mean, I'm covering it a bit with my face, but the headline is fake rocket.
For it, the fake rocket to the moon, April Fool's Day. What a coincidence. It took off on April Fool's Day. You fell for it, right? Right. Big claim. Sounds just believable enough, right? And completely ridiculous. How can a rocket go to the moon? Like, I haven't been able to do it for 60 years. Suddenly, on April Fool's Day, oh yeah, we can go to the moon. It doesn't matter about the field that humans can't pass through. No, there are...
Couldn't do it. It's 60 years ago they did it. Can't do it today. Suddenly on April Fool's Day. They suddenly do it, did they, on April Fool's Day? It's not sudden. So I'm just like, oh, I think we'll go to the moon for April Fool's Day, quick. I didn't realise. It's like March the fucking 24th. We need to get this rocket sorted. Oh, I'd have to do a fake one now. Well, we're supposed to be fake. We're going...
Up there. No. Are you going to land? Oh, no, we're not going to land. Oh, no, we're just going to have a drive-by. We're going to go up for a drive-by. Do you believe that?
Yeah,
do you?
I do.
They're saying NASA built a fake rocket, right? So thousands of engineers,
Do you think this in any way undermines any of his other sort of investigative work? It sort of undermines his other investigative work.
Billions of funding, years of testing, just to build a prop. Meow. April Fool.
Woke bollocks number 2. I'm a cat.
Got to fire it, countdown, live cameras. But yeah, it's just a stage show. Because apparently it's easier to fake a moon mission now these days
Katy Perry.
than just going to the
Katy Perry went to space.
moon. The rocket's real. The science is real. The only thing fake is the fact that humans can't land on the moon. So if they're going to go around the moon, it follows they can't be going there, can they? And the reason this time they're not going to land is because they can't really fake that very well these days, can they? Imagine trying to fake these people landing on the moon. No, don't go that far. Just have them do a flyby and come home again. Oh.
Why would it be harder to fake it these days? I'm going to do look. I can see them. I can see they're not there. No one would know. It'd be easier. Like all the technology and all the film stuff. Like you can. Like the problem these days is that technology's so good you don't know from when you're just watching a video what's real and what's not. And like it'd be happening on the moon, so the only chance you'd get to have a look at it is if they showed you a video. So there's the start point, is it would be a video. Like you say. Why is it harder to fake? There's not people living on the moon now, are there? You know, lots of observers. It's not harder to fake. I suppose China and Russia could have a look and say, oh, America said... In fact, why don't China and Russia get involved and say, look, Iran are at war with America. All they need to do is get a big telescope out and have a look. Prove it. Look down the telescope, you're just not there. Well, you're pointing in the wrong direction, mate. I suppose that's hard to prove, isn't it? Just someone would just, like, have a good look, wouldn't they? Then just have a look.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, at the end he says, oh yeah, which is classic.
Have them do a flyby and come home again. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That proves it.
Do a flyby and come home again. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So like I say, do you think the judge might see that? And if the judge did see that, like, I think they'd be more lenient on him really, because like it makes you pity him.
Can they?
Like he's not right in the head, is he? He's not all there. A picnic short of a sandwich. I got that the wrong way around then, didn't I? I think it still makes sense. He's a full picnic short of a sandwich, mate. He's not the one sandwich that's short of a picnic. You could have a picnic if you were missing one sandwich. You still got the apples. You still got the blanket. You still got the elderflower cordial or some shit. I don't know, countryside, innit? Like, you know, you still got all that going on. You've got a pork pie sliced into quarters with some Branston pickle. You still got a large lump of cheese for the ploughmans. The picnic, isn't it? It's a picnic. You've still got some scones, some jam, and some clotted cream. And the jam's attracting the wasps. So it's a picnic. You still got several other kinds of sandwich. Several sandwiches. It's just there's one sandwich short, isn't there? So the picnic's all right. Nobody would notice after they got going. But with Alan, that's not the case. I don't think anyone would mistake this for a picnic. What it is it's like a plastic bag drifting around on some wasteland, and someone's emptied out half a tin of baked beans onto the floor. And then someone's trodding the baked beans, and then they've had to try and wipe that off on the plastic bag, and that's the picnic. That's your picnic. No one's even attempted to provide a sandwich. No one even talks. There's a Subway up the road. It's not even like takeaway sandwiches from the Subway, eating outside counts as a picnic. It's not even that. It's some old litter in a bush.
And the reason this time they're not going to land is because they can't really fake that very well. These
fucking off your box, like fully off his fucking box. Oh, it's another one.
What sort of joke is this?
Wait. I didn't realise I was going to have a good laugh tonight. I've got to show you this at the top. At the top there, it says, because I have it pulled, down a bit like his pants. Space doesn't add up. At the top there. Space doesn't add up. It's not a puzzle. It's not a fucking equation or whatever, is it? Well, it might be. I don't know, physics. I'm not Alfred Einstein, am I? What do I know? Space doesn't add up, though. I've done the sums. Space doesn't add up. It's completely wrong. And that he's got. Yeah, there are some sums there. Look, 300 miles to 400,000 kilometers. He'll tell us. Alan will tell us why space doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. I've done the sums. Space? Nah, mate. Show me a calculator, I'll explain.
Space doesn't add up, does it? Normally, rockets are maximum 300 miles above us, right?
What?
Oh, we're going into space. They go 300 miles. Suddenly, today, they got this bloody thing going to the moon for...
Why didn't you put them in the same... Like, why don't you say how many miles it is, not kilometres? Why aren't they the same measurement scale? Because it just confuses me. I thought you were going to say about conversion rates or something. How many miles would that be more? I don't really... I know this make me sound stupid a little bit, but when you put the two together like that, I don't know. How many miles is in 400,000 kilometres? I'd have to work that out, and I don't know. I haven't got a logarithm for it. I've just got, my really substandard... I'm not particularly great at geography, and this one's not something I'm not particularly great at. Is working out. If you told me, how many miles it is to kilometres, I'm not great, but yeah.
100,000 kilometres.
400,000.
400,000 kilometres.
That's a lot then.
It's slightly further, isn't it?
I don't know.
How is that?
I don't know. I'll have to find out. I'm gonna have to ask Google. Not ChatGPT, just Google, standard Google, because this is a straightforward one, isn't it? 400,000 kilometres in miles, please. I'm talking to it like I'm talking to ChatGPT. That is 248,548 miles. That's a lot more, actually. 300 miles and 250,000 miles. 250,000. That should say 250,000 miles. That should. 250,000 miles.
That's possible, right? So...
I just guess it just takes a bit longer. Someone in chat there's written, no friction means no deceleration. They use the Earth and Moon's gravity to slingshot in each direction. So they've like got an answer. It adds up if you're clever enough to follow the mathematics in question, says somebody. Someone here has put, I would agree with you, but then we'd both be dumb as fuck. And Alan's replied, there's a real question here. We're told we could send people to the moon over 50 years ago, ... with far less... This is ChatGPT. Alan's used ChatGPT to write his reply, and someone's written in response, ask ChatGPT to steal man the moon landings for you. Oh, like, they see that he's using ChatGPT. You are saying it didn't happen. The serious question you're asking, ChatGPT can answer it. No, maybe are they seeing it? That answer Alan's given to this person, you can tell. I'm not going to tell him exactly how I can tell because I don't want him to know if he's watching this, but I could tell you can tell that is a ChatGPT answer. Alan is replying to people in comments by using ChatGPT because they're calling him dumb as fuck. What? And look, he's copy-pasted it here as well to this other person. What were you doing when the science teacher was talking? Do you actually understand how space travel works? And Alan's written, I'm talking about humans. What? There's a thing called dead internet theory. Right? Dead internet theory is the idea that, like, you think there's loads of people on the internet and like the internet's this big living thing, but a lot of people have been putting up a load of bullshit and a load of bots and a load of rubbish, and the bots and the AI are like training on the rubbish. So like the internet might eventually be, instead of full of all wonderful information and all humans putting all our information together, it might become more and more just like bots and AI talking to each other and fewer people on the platforms that are real. And this is an example of dead internet theory where Alan is farming out his own. I talk about, you know, kind of tongue-in-cheek a little bit, but I talk about how in the future Elon Musk could put Neuralinks in us and we could farm out our brains to the big compute. But Alan has sort of farmed out his content and his brain to the AI to the point where he's letting it answer questions for him. And this response, which I presume is actually Alan, reads like an AI program that's just designed to answer your comments for you and has just got it a bit wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no... This is lacking in a lot of humanity. What if it wasn't for him bimbling around in the video? It's lacking a lot of humanity in his replies in the comments, but he's put... Now that's a lot of fuel there as well. I'm just surprised that he's replied to those comments with this... Like, there it is again, look. Had a drink, says someone. There's a real question here. We're told... Like, it's just... He's used AI to respond to the people over and over again. It's fucking weird. And like the one where he's not, it says, do you actually understand how space travel works? And he's written, I'm talking about humans. It's not even a coherent response, is it? Like, it doesn't mean... Yeah? Oh...
That's the bit people don't get. They normally go a few hundred miles, suddenly they're going to the moon, bang, like that. Most rockets don't do that. They just circle the Earth, right? But moon missions don't go higher, they go faster. And they leave the
near Earth orbit. Is he having trouble with understanding what he's ChatGPTing? Yeah, like, you see that down there on the picture? I mean, this is a bad example because it's not exactly to scale, is it? Look at the size of this weird rocket thing. But like down there close to the Earth, usually when you fly into space, like where Katy Perry went, like you only go that far, just onto the edge there, don't you? And it's getting out from there to there, that last bit like that, that's the really difficult bit, isn't it? Like having all the energy to get from the ground to up there is difficult, and breaking out from there is difficult. And once you've done that, then it's like fucking plain sailing from there, isn't it? You don't even stop if you don't want to. Like, if you can't unless you organise it, because there's nothing to stop you, is there? There's like, you're just fucking going really fast. So it might take a little bit more time, but is it possible to fly from there to there when most space stuff is happening in low Earth orbit around here? Yeah, actually, isn't it? It is possible. It's like saying most of the time we sail our boats around the shores and around the coast of the UK. Like if you live in a coastal town, most of the time you just take your little boats out round close to the shores, don't you? You don't go sailing off to fucking New Zealand. But if you wanted to, you could fucking sail off to New Zealand. Like, you wouldn't particularly want to. Might want to come back.
Atmosphere. It's very hard to do as a human being, I can tell you. One burn and they leave Earth's orbit completely. From 300 miles to 400 kilometres, that's not a step up. That's a completely different journey. So yeah, it sounds mad. It looks fake. But is it? And have they got enough fuel to get back? That's 800.
The coming back system isn't the same as the going there system. You don't need as much fuel. But I would think they've covered that. Have they got enough fuel to get back? Yeah, you'd hope so. The person in the chat said it was about gravity and stuff as well. It is funny the way he does that, isn't it? With the phone, like he's filming. Kaz says he's bobbing about. He's got his phone and he's like doing that, isn't he? He's like talking to it and moving, but the phone's doing the green screen. But like all he needs to do is frame himself up and just hold it still, doesn't he? Or like put it in a thing and like just let it sit there in a cup or something. That's all he needs to do, really. Like, does he? I wonder whether he ever looks at his own stuff and thinks this looks bad. Or like, this looks good, probably. I don't know.
100,000 kilometres in that spaceship. Oh my God. Are we supposed to believe this or not? What sort of joke is this? Space doesn't add up, does it? Normally, rockets are maximum 300 miles above us, right? Oh, we're going into space. They go 300 miles. Suddenly, today, they got this bloody thing going to the moon 400,000 kilometres, right? It's slightly further, isn't it? How is that possible, right? So that's the bit people don't get. They normally...
And then, like... then he expects to be taken seriously about other things.
Well, I know.
Listen, this is what screams about the recent Jason Dean Rothwell interview on that channel, plus Peter Folding's alignment with that scary doll woman. Like, you can't be a professional and taken great. I'm going to struggle to be taken seriously as a professional, aren't I? But I don't think Peter Folding has any more gravitas than me professionally. Talk about professionally, because publicly he said that the woman with the scary doll is probably like, really onto something with that scary doll stuff. He believes in her as a psychic. Yeah? And I've said that I don't think that. I think that's bullshit. So which of us would you rather be your MP? Like, it's just such a load of bollocks, isn't it? Like, professional chuffer could carry it. In a professional setting, you could point back at some of the stuff I've done. Oh, look, you said that, it was bad. Yeah, but in a professional setting, I could behave professionally, whereas people who haven't got half a brain can't. So, like, Alan, I don't know. Like, does he now think after doing that about, like, the rockets are fake, that it's going to... Like, surely he's just written off a load of people. There aren't that many people who watch him anymore, are there? But, like, there must be some people who have watched him in the past and thought, oh, I like what he's saying about XYZ for some reason. Like, there are, apparently, some people who say that. And then they'd get to that and think, well, actually, his judgment's not very sound, is it? His judgment's not very sound. And, like, it's basically what it's about, isn't it? Judgment, credibility. I think it was saint-based. Alan has said, I could play it again, it's only a couple of minutes, isn't it? Alan's done, because it is one of his finest moments, actually.
Did you fall for it? The fake rocket to the moon, April Fool's Day? What a coincidence. It took off on April Fool's Day. You fell for it, right? Right. Big claim. Sounds just believable enough, right? You're completely ridiculous. How can a rocket go to the moon? Like, I haven't been able to do it for 60 years. Suddenly, on April Fool's Day, oh yeah, we can go to the moon. Doesn't matter about the field that humans can't pass through. No, they're up there. No. Are you going to land? Oh, no, we're not going to land. Oh, no, we're just going to have a drive-by. We're going to go up for a drive-by. Do you believe that? Do you? They're saying NASA built a fake rocket, right? So thousands of engineers, billions of funding, years of testing, just to build a prop. Meow. April Fool. They got to fire it, countdown, live cameras. But yeah, it's just a stage show. Because apparently it's easier to fake a moon mission now these days. Going to the moon. The rocket's real. The science is real. The only thing fake is the fact that humans can't land on the moon. So if they're going to go around the moon, it follows they can't be going there, can they? And the reason this time they're not going to land is because they can't really fake that very well these days, can they? Imagine trying to fake these people landing on the moon. No, don't go that far. Just have them do a flyby and come home again. Oh, yeah. Did you fall for it? The fake... What sort of joke is this? Space doesn't add up, does it? Normally, rockets are maximum 300 miles above us, right? Oh, we're going into space. They go 300 miles. Suddenly, today, they got this bloody thing going to the moon 400,000 kilometres, right? It's slightly further, isn't it? How is that possible, right? So, that's the bit people don't get. They normally go a few hundred miles, suddenly they're going to the moon, bang, like that.
So space doesn't add up. And then...
Well, I know it's Easter and all that. I woke up to a disturbing story this morning. Funeral parlour scandal. Funeral directors who you trust, right? And
this has been in the news. It's not new news.
Time of mourning, you know, you just like, you need somebody to
Why are you picking this out?
help you. Good grief. So I don't know where to start. A funeral director trusted by grieving families.
Yeah, it's bad, that one. Is that fake as well, or is that the moon, or is... Like, that would be more easy to fake.
Liam fans, do not go anywhere.
Liam fans. Like, how is it that people that like Liam also will sit and watch this man? Like, how are those two things compatible? Like...
Happy Easter, everyone. Happy Easter, Great Britain. Happy
I should say that as well, shouldn't I, on stream? Happy Easter. Oh, I'm not running the fucking news. It's just a happy Easter, yeah. Like, what? What's this now?
Easter, defender of the faith, King Charles. Who he is younger.
He's the head of the church.
That's 30 years he's been doing this. He's not really a Christian, is he? In a full...
He is King Divine. Like, what happened was, we were all Catholic, and then King Henry VIII wanted to have a fucking divorce, didn't he? And he said, I'm not having this anymore. I'm the king because God has said I am. And they said, yeah, I suppose that's right. And he said, right, well, I'm the king, and God says I'm the king, so I'm having a divorce. And they said, you can't, because of the rules. He said, I'm changing the rules. So this is going to cause a bit of a schism in the old church. And he said, the old church will have a new one. We'll have a new one. The Church of England. And I'll be the fucking main one. And I'm pulling down your monasteries. Get it into your heads. Was it something like that? And now he is like, it's not just the king and it's good old England and Christianity. Like, he's the Church of England. It's him. I don't know.
Sense of the word? His mother was. I remember all her Easter messages.
He pops in.
Was. I remember all her Easter messages. It was all about Christ and...
Easter messages? Is he right in saying that? Did the Queen do a lot of Easter messages? I mean, she may have done. I know you do, I know, you know what I mean? I know you do, Christmas. Is he right on that? I personally, I don't really remember the Queen doing a lot of Easter messages, but maybe I'm wrong. You know, what we don't do is we don't look forward to at Easter or getting around the telly and watching the Queen's speech, do we? Like, that's a Christmas thing, but I'm going to say, you know, it's totally plausible that the Queen Easter message, the Queen does Easter messages. Although I'm not fine. The Queen records first Easter message amid coronavirus crisis, it said. First recorded Easter message. So maybe she used to do it and it wasn't recorded, it was live. Easter message 2020. First Easter message. No, I think the first Easter message was in 2020, and it's not a normal thing. Actually, I think Alan's got that wrong, frankly. King Charles has released his traditional annual Easter message, they say, a year ago in Sky News. I mean, maybe he will still release a message. Oh, and here we've got Dan Wootton out. This is what it is, look. This is what it is. Dan Wootton, famous arsehole, has said, live, King Charles Easter outrage with calls to abdicate as he backs Islamists over Christians. Like, that's what this is about, isn't it? Someone like Dan Wootton's having a pop trying. Dan Wootton's background is surprisingly like Nick Fuentes. He's copied Nick Fuentes. So I think the Royals do a service, but I've searched for Queen Easter message and there ain't much. Like there's this one from 5 years ago, the first Easter message. Look. So I don't think it's common for them to do an Easter message, and I don't think King Charles is like. Backed the Islamists instead of the Christians or something. I think that just sounds fucking ridiculous.
Generation, and this man, this Easter, silence. Let's just get it straight, because people are not dancing around it. I'm not going to dance around it. We've got a king, King Charles III, head of the Church of England, and Easter comes, the biggest moment in the whole Christian calendar, and what do we get? Silence. Last year, diluted message, mentioning other religions. The other religions don't celebrate Easter.
Yes, they do. Like, obviously, the Jews aren't very pleased about it. Are they? Bless them. Like, you know, because. Well, it's so. But Muslims believe that Jesus was a miracle-working prophet. Like, they don't see him as the Son of God, but they do accept him as a sort of miracle-working prophet. So I think they're all right with, like, you know, celebrating Easter. In fact, do you know what? If you're a Hindu or a Sikh or a Buddhist, you can still celebrate Easter as well. Like, you can still celebrate it, like, in the sort of, like, you know, common parlance. Like, Diwali goes on and, like, people still celebrate that, you know, like, just generally. I think it's okay. Yeah, I thought they just go to church on Easter. Yeah, someone takes like a snapshot of them from a distance.
We do. So why are you?
And it's not even, and we're not even there yet. It's not even Easter Sunday yet. Like, it's Good Friday today. So, like, what's he done wrong?
Hindu, Islam, and all the other religions when it's the UK Easter thing.
I see what you're saying, Ellie. It might not sit right with you, but them's just the facts, I'm afraid. So, like, you know, get worshipping and serving, or, you know, get going and living in bloody France or something, eh? British values. Get everyone fucking sent back to the countries, and, you know, the king's the it is a bit silly, isn't it? It is a bit silly, but like, it's more symbolic these days, I guess. Maybe not if you're the king. Maybe you really feel it. You know, you're like, I'm godded up. I've been tagged up with the God brush, but yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? It's our tradition of the. I don't think it's. I think it's reasonably harmless as long as it's more sort of for show. You know what I mean? Ceremonial. I think it's a bit more serious if the king, like, you know, said to me, "You realise that I'm part God, therefore I'm going to have to sit in your chair." and you can sit on the floor or something, I'd be like, well, I'm already sat here, mate. I know. Actually, you know what I would do is I'd probably get up and say, there you are, the king. Thank you. You know, my liege. Enjoy the chair. I'd probably just bow and scrape to the king, wouldn't I? Because, like, I don't know, it just seemed appropriate if you wanted to sit down. I'm all right standing or sitting on the floor. He's all right sitting on the floor as well. Look, he sat on the floor there. Nobody needs an extra chair. We're fine. We're fine. We'll deal with it. I'll sit on his knee. Maybe he can sit on mine. No, nobody's sitting on anyone's knee. That's inappropriate.
You don't do that when it's Ramadan. You don't mention the word Christian in Ramadan to anyone, do
What?
you? Something's going on here. And I know that, like, for years he's got this thing in Oxford, like the Islamic Centre, that he's promoted for 30 years. And last year he opened a new garden there that's a fusion between Christian values and Islamic virtues.
I assume is closed during Ramadan then. Because just a minute ago, just then, you said that the Christian and the Islamic couldn't go together because reasons, and that during Ramadan you're not even allowed to say the word Christian. So I presume that Christian garden amalgamation that the king is in, I assume that sort of bridging a gap garden thing, that has to be closed.
In a garden. He's trying to cross-pollinate.
He's trying to plant flowers in a garden. The evil bastard. He's trying to build bridges between communities with gardening. Get that fucking dug up. Get it dug up. Concrete that bitch. Oh, I see no fucking garden. Slabs. I want slabs. Patio, mate. Patio's too bridge-like. You can walk across that. I want a fence. I want a series of barbed wire fences. And we'll call it the Peace Garden. Have a piece of my mind. What is he on about?
Two different religions, right? He's studied Islamic practices for years, and he now speaks Arabic. What?
It'll do that to you, won't it, though, studying the old Islamic practices? I'll do it to you, won't it? You'll be fluent in Arabic before you know it. King Charles, His Royal Highness, the King of England, and were he to be able to speak Arabic, there's not anything really wrong with that. Like, he speaks to different people from all over the world. Like, he speaks to the kings of Saudi Arabia and whomever else. They speak Arabic and they speak English. Like, would it be bad if you learned Spanish? Like, but I don't think he does speak fluent Arabic, to be honest. I don't know. But, like, what? And this is Alan, who abused his privilege as a disabled person with his bad knee, which did eventually have an operation on it, but, you know, I don't know, didn't realise the bad knee entitled him to jump the queue at the morning of the Queen. And as he did so, if you remember, I'm not going to dig out the clip now, but do you remember when Alan walked past the queue with his disabled badge and his wristband, jumping the queue, and declared the power of the disabled as he walked past with his wristband, like he was in the VIP section at the funeral. Yeah. School holidays, innit? Big ups. See you around. We'll be here and there. Be here and there. Here and there. Big ups. Nice to see you again.
Is going on? What would your mum think? You're supposed to be looking after us, aren't you? It's just dilution of us, isn't it? Dilution of the indigenous population.
Do you know what? That kind of makes me a bit annoyed in the big picture sense. Because, like, what do you want from the world? Like, that's what the world is. It's a big mix of people, and it always sort of has been. Like, you can't sort of fight. In a 200, 500, 1,000 years, a lot more people will be mixed, won't they? Like, with a bit of this and some of that. You all are, actually. There's very few people that will trace back their roots to just like, I mean, maybe if you've come from Scotland, like up in the Highlands, or, you know, and maybe even not, you know, with the Vikings and this and that, but like, you know, maybe somewhere there's like a pocket of people who can trace their roots back to their own ancestors that have never lived anywhere else but that area forever and have never had any interbreeding with anybody else from outside. And that would be kind of like genetically stale, wouldn't it? But the reality is most of us are just like, you know, a bit of a combo here and there. And like in the future, that's going to be more so because people can go to different countries. They can cross all these boundaries. They already are doing. If you want, you can have a Chinese partner or, you know, an Asian partner. It's just fine. And all that like boundary blurring will just lead to a more, you know, mixed group of people who will still consider themselves to be English or French or Indian, depending on which country they reside in, I suppose. Like, it just, or are born in and grow, you know what I mean? Like, it just, but does it really matter that much that it's like the facts of like genetic diversity and interbreeding are like that? Like, or would it be better if we just said we're going to stop that and we're going to have like little pockets of different countries? Because we've got loads of different countries at the moment, arbitrarily drawn out borders in different ways, old squabbles and like things going back. You know, we've got these borders. You know, just keep that forever now. That's it now. I wouldn't want there to be any change in these, you know, drawn borders. There can't be. Like, it's just ridiculous to even consider, to the point where we should close them all and just everyone stay in your own fucking zone. No more going to Egypt for you. And I don't want any of the Egyptians coming here. Like, it just seems weird, doesn't it? It's like, what? Yeah. And it won't matter to any of us because by the time these effects happen, we'll all be fucking dead anyway. It'll be like 200 years, 500 years, 1,000 years. There's no way Muslims can take over the UK without, like, okay, if a lot of people in the UK suddenly convert to Islam, then that's it, job done, isn't it? But people coming from another country and just joining in our society will take 500 years to destabilise a population. It's not, at these numbers, it's not possible. So, like, it's just ridiculous.
Same man decades ago standing up talking about Islam,
Aslam. Standing up talking about Aslam.
In the indigenous population. Same man decades ago standing up talking about Islam, back in the Oxford Centre for Islamic Studies, saying that West misunderstands Islam. Fine, fair enough, no problem with understanding other cultures. But here's why we're raising our eyebrows, because when he talks about Islam, he's clear, passionate and detailed and knows the subject really well. When it comes to Christianity, his own faith, the tone changes, it softens, it blends, it becomes shared value, common humanity, all faced together. We're all equal. Now compare that.
That's all right.
To Queen Elizabeth. No confusion, she said. Christ, resurrection, faith. Clear, direct, no mixing, no hedging her bets. She didn't have to, did she? Because she was British. So what's changed? Not the title, not the row.
She married a Greek. And her dad was a German. Was he? One of them. Look, I'm making cheeky jokes there, but like, what? Why is the Queen more British than Charles? It's like, the King's not British enough for Alan now. The King of Great Britain is not British enough for Alan. But doesn't the King set the cultural tone? Like, doesn't he have a bit of a say about what Britishness is? Because isn't he the fucking king? It's like, you know, I understand we can critique different things and, like, you know, critique the royals and this and that, but like on this particular level, like, Alan is like more, you know, it's like Alan's opinion of what the king should be doing is more important than what the king is doing, and like Alan's not as important as the king. Like, you know, Alan, maybe he should advise the king. Alan as the royal advisor, maybe. He's the king, Alan. He's the king. Like, he's the top main one. The king. You do videos critiquing him on the internet, saying he's not getting it right and he's doing it wrong. He's not kinging correctly. He could be doing that, being a king, much better. You tell him, Alan. You tell him. And the thing he's doing wrong is he's being too friendly with other faith leaders and religious institutions. Well, specifically this religious institution of Islam. Yeah, he's being too friendly with the communities within his kingdom. It's just like, what?
Society has changed.
Society has changed, yeah.
Has to pander to smaller groups now, because he's not talking to one country.
Why would you have to pander to smaller groups? They're small. You're the king. You don't have to pander to anyone. Politically correct. No, he's the king. It's above politics, isn't it? Like, they have to be politically correct to him. Like, it's just, like, I don't think there's any need to pander to anyone.
Anymore. He's talking to a country with countries within it, with silos of people in it of different faiths.
That's always been the case. We used to have Celts before we had Christians, didn't we? Like, it's just so fucking ridiculous what he just said then. People of different faiths. He is the king because of a schism with the dominant faith, which at the time was Catholicism. Like, he's...
They don't want him to be defender of the faith.
Right.
They don't mind him being defender of all faiths, plural.
Yeah.
And it sounds nice until you realise what's happening. Because when everything's equal, nothing stands out. When Easter, the core of Christianity, becomes just another moment to talk about all religions, people will ask questions. And here's the key one. If you are head of the Church of England...
Right, that last little bit I'm just going to write off because... what? And then this. If you're the head of... Okay, let's get to the core point. If you're the head of the Church of England, Yep.
Why does it feel you're more comfortable talking about other religions than your own?
Well, I don't think he's more comfortable talking about... He's just equally comfortable talking about anything. He's the king.
Let's be fair, he's not...
It's ChatGPT, you're right, isn't it? It's ChatGPT. Like, it doesn't seem... It seems like Alan's point, like, this is a good point, and I do work with AI behind the scenes, you know. It's really important to not allow it to be... Like, I believe Alan just sits down and says, like, you know, write me this thing about the king, and then just reads it out. Like, you've got to still work through the structural, like, draft process. Like, you've got to have your format. Like, you've got to do your research. It can do the research for you, which is really great. That's a really good part of it. Is normally I'd sit down and read through websites and then pick points out, and I could say, can you do that for me? And can you tell me what the general tone of this article is? And, you know, like, it's really good at that. But what it's not so good at is just, like, if you just said, put it in a big... Like, I've done things before where if you simply had read their argument out, it might even self-contradict. Like, you've got to, like, be able to, like, tell it what you want it to do. Do you know what I mean? Rather than allow it to do what it wants to do and feed that back. Alan's got no quality control. He doesn't know if it's a good argument, a good piece of writing, or a bad one. Like, he doesn't know if it's what it even wants to say, does he? He just reads it out. And sometimes there's, like, problems in that. That's a point. Do you know what's funny is that's what he said in his hearing for his remedies. Is he brought up the idea that Cohen Davis had used AI to fabricate evidence, and then he said AI can make mistakes. You know, well, like, yeah.
Abandon Christianity. He already says the word anymore.
Banning Christianity now. Did you just say that?
Abandon Christianity. Let's be fair, he's not abandoned Christianity.
Oh, sorry, he's not abandoned Christianity. Of course he's not a fucking abandoned Christianity, has he? Could you imagine? I mean, it could happen. It's plausible that King Charles could say, I've decided to... he'd have to abdicate, though. But he could convert to Islam if he wanted to. He would have to abdicate, I think. But abandoning Christianity... like, why would he abandon Christianity? As I say, it's his main thing of most of his life is that he's appointed by God to be the king. So if you abandoned it, you wouldn't be the king anymore. And I don't know. And all this, listen, all this coming from a man who spends his Sunday up the pub and the bookies, not at church.
Says the word anymore. He hasn't converted, he just doesn't talk about Christianity. The centre of gravity has changed from This is what I believe too. This is what everyone believes. And that's not the same thing. Not even close. So no, it's not about Islam replacing Christianity yet. It's about something else, something bigger. It's about
there we go. So ChatGPT said, so no, it's not about Islam replacing Christianity. Like, it's not agreeing with Alan's whatever he's asking it to say, because sometimes it won't, will it? Like, you can't go on and say, like, tell me how to do bad things. I'm going to do it on a stream, and it'll be like, all right, here's a list of bad things. Like, it's got its own, like, pushback against certain ideas as well, hasn't it? I wonder what it's going to say now. It's got to the point where I wonder what ChatGPT is going to say that Alan's going to read out.
Monarchy trying to redefine itself within a country of silos, of different pulling this way, that way, religious populations, and religion's got to be dumped. Christianity's got to be dumped.
Oh my God, it's finally reached the fucking point as well. Like, we are in a secular society. Secular meaning people have moved away from religion. Like, generally, and I'm saying that, you know, Alan doesn't go to church on a Sunday. Have you been to church today? It's Good Friday. I bet you fucking haven't, you naughty. Nor have I. None of us do. You got your beliefs and you like believe in general about the angels and the devil and stuff, but none of us are off. I mean, there are people that are off going to church. I'm dissing us here because we're naughty, but you know, like in general, society is in less about going to church now on these special. Like, you go for a wedding, don't you, or you go for like a funeral, but like less often will you be going for like just Sundays and Easters. But like, that's what happened in society, and like the breakdown of Christian values. Like, when people talk about Britain and values and stuff like that, I'm surprised they're not more interested in the breakdown of Christian values because of secularization, modern technology, and like, you know, like, I think you have to sort of like, I don't want to say breed it into people, but like, if you don't take your kids to church, then how are they going to ever become like, you know, religious? You know, if you don't teach them at school about Jesus, how are they ever going to know? So like, you kind of got to back it up as well with your home life by living that way as well, like good Christian people. Because you can't say this is the Christian rules and then just be a shit. They see through that. But at the same token, it's like hard to, you know, Santa Claus isn't real, but Jesus is. So deal with that, kids. I understand it, like secularization of society. Like, but if you want to push back on something, instead of the immigrants, why don't you push back on secularization of society? You know, and be more good Christians, and like go and have a think about what being a good Christian is. Because it looks like he's been quite a good Christian there, actually. Doesn't it, with what he's doing, even though he's dressed up in multi-faith costume and meeting other people? Like, it looks like he's treating his brother like his neighbour like his brother, you know, love thy neighbour sort of thing. Anyway, apparently that's King Charles's Easter silence, and it's bad. This looks like it's made by AI, everything. So why would anyone click it? I'm gonna.
Used to be controlled by mainstream media, right? They didn't lose control of you, me, everyone. They lost control of monopoly. We're always to sit there watching telly.
Oh, he thinks he's clever, but this is written by ChatGPT. Like, and everyone knows it, and he puts the markers and tells in everywhere, so...
9 o'clock news, 9 o'clock news.
I mean, I listened to the last one, but, like, I don't know, like, I don't have an interest in listening to Alan read out opinions of ChatGPT, do I? This would be interesting, though.
Football's gone mad. Here we are on the top sign, and it's Spurs versus Bristol City, FA Cup 2027. There's Harry, he's just pushing 80, versus Roy Hodgson, he's just coming up 79. So two managers going for 80.
I do think this is an extraordinary signing at Bristol City. Roy Hodgson, I've never thought much of him as a fucking football manager. I've always felt he brings a sort of pobby quality, a bit like Keir Starmer does. Like Roy Hodgson, the way he talks with the... Hang on, Roy. Well, I thought he was a good guy. And you know, the lads... Roy Hodgson, the lad... hang on, can I do his voice? I just... there's something about him and the way he is that, to me, doesn't lend itself to being the football manager. And the other one that I really hate is Mick McCarthy. But Mick McCarthy is the kind of opposite of that. He's more like, whoa, geezer, innit? Like, here, Mick McCarthy. Oh, fucking, I told that fucking Roy Keane. I said to that, oh, Roy Keane, you can fuck off, Roy Keane. But Roy Hodgson's a bit like, well, you know, down south, down south, Roy Hodgson. So, like, I've never felt like he has that gravitas when talking to the team. I'm not, if I was in the team, just the way he talks would, would kind of undermine the gravitas of what he's saying in a way. And like, I felt that with England and stuff. I've never been a big fan of Roy Hodgson as a manager. As a man, as a person, I'm sure he's a lovely guy. And like, you know, I don't have to assess his gravitas by his speaking voice. And I know it's a silly thing because you could be the best football manager in the world and you've got a different kind of speaking voice, and I should be mean about that. No. But like Roy Hodgson, here he's talking.
Roy, satisfying day at the office for you?
Yes, very. I thought we played very well.
Yeah, very. I thought they played very well. Like, he sounds a bit like Mr. Bean.
We were rocked back by another decision which I find hard to accept, but luckily... Which one do you think?
I'm asking you.
No, well, I'll leave it then. If you're going to be tricky like that, I won't even bother to, you know, carry on. Shall we? Let's stop it here, shall we? I mean, if you're going to be tricky with your questions.
No, I'm genuinely...
I imagine, actually, he could be, like, quite a serious fucking, you know, like one of those gangsters who, like, has a bit of a lisp, like Ronnie Cray or something, and then ends up being, like, a fucking nutter.
Start again. Which one? Well, how many were there? They only had 2 shots at goal. One was a penalty, and one was a striker.
What was the penalty?
Goal our goalkeeper saved. So what decision are we talking about?
Are we talking about? So Roy Hodgson there, yeah, he's now the manager of Bristol City, which is fucking mental because, as Alan has pointed out in his tweet, and his TikTok or whatever, he's quite old now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming down to Ashton Gate to spend some time with us. Thank you to any of the fans tuning in on Robin's TV.
He did used to be at Bristol, like back in the day. He used to be at Bristol City, and he's only going to be there for a few games. Like, that's the deal. It's like 5 games and that's it. It's just a very short-term appointment. Get something out of the lads, give them a bit of a pep up, you know, put them out in a formation. The backroom staff will handle a lot of it. Bit of a media attention and, you know, make sure we stay up sort of thing. But kind of strange appointment, yeah.
It was always on the basis that we'd like you to come in and work like we think you do work for this 5-week period, and that at the end of it, I hope they will have found their new sporting director, found their new manager, and the club will go from strength to strength. That's my hope, and I hope to get some enjoyment from being here, to re-energise myself a little bit by being back on the grass and being back with players, something which has always been what I've wanted to do.
It's the same for me with Keir Starmer as well. It's a really weird critique to have, but like a thought of quality about, like, you know, I think public speaking is quite important when you're in this position. So not being a very good public speaker goes against you. And it's not that he's not a very good public speaker, to be honest, actually. It's just his tone and the way it comes across to me. I'm sure it's different in person as well. Like, you know, maybe if I caught the wrong end of his stick in a training session, I'd say, well, actually, I've got a lot more respect for Roy now. I've heard him fucking yelling at me. But
I didn't come in.
What's he want as a manager? I don't know. Not the England stuff.
Forward to do press conferences.
That was another thing that annoyed me, though. Is it was a bit like when England. I mean, I wasn't around when England appointed Don Revie over. What's his fucking name now? You know his name from Forest. Nigel Clough, Brian Clough. When England appointed Revie over Clough, they should have appointed Clough, and then we never got Clough. But I don't know who was around at the time, but when they appointed this chuffer for the England job, I thought, oh, well, now we've got this guy for like 5-8 years, and he's not any good. So like, I didn't want him in the England set up, but he was for a bit. Anyway, back to Alan. Alan's complaining that these fellas are still working in football or something.
Years old, playing managers in football at that age. Most men are dead by then, aren't they? Don't they?
What? They shouldn't manage a football team. They should be dead.
Managers? Have we ever heard such a thing? Roy Hodgson has been made Bristol City manager this morning. The favourite for the Spurs job is Harry Redknapp.
He's not.
He's
not the favourite for the Spurs job. I don't think that's misreporting by Alan, but
old Harry, he's much older. He's 79. My God. I'm thinking, this is not a dugout, right? It's a heritage site. You've got Tottenham Hotspur fans.
You've got ChatGPT writing him jokes. It's not a dugout, it's a heritage site. He's got ChatGPT writing him jokes. That's offended me. I don't like that. ChatGPT writing jokes is something that I think is pretty fucking low. I mean, it's worse than the misinformation and the stuff about the rockets and the moon and Islam and that. Writing jokes. Like, you do your own jokes. I do my jokes. I'm funny. If you're not funny, you can't have fake jokes. You just have to not be funny. I mean, can we agree that... can we... I don't ask for much. I don't ask for subscriptions. I don't ask for super chats. I don't ask for anything, really. But if you could just write in chat that I'm funny... If you could just... if you could just write in chat that I'm funny... I think we'll just have a little pause for a moment, just for a minute. Just to think about how funny I am for a minute. I don't really do anything particularly funny. So I just want you to... I mean, I've probably done things that are funny in the past that you remember. Think about one of those. You have a good think about that for a minute. It just has to flash across your mind. It doesn't have to be a minute. Something funny I've done. A good one, though. Funny peculiar. No. Not funny smell. Funny looking. Funny peculiar. Alan's not allowed to have fake jokes. He's not allowed to have fake jokes. You can't get ChatGPT to write jokes for you and then try to appear funny. It's totally like comedians back in the day, right back in the day when they did the first circuit, they'd all share the jokes. There was only sticky moment. You don't have to say it. You don't have to say what I didn't ask you to say what it was in chat. You just have to think about it. Thinking about my Willie now. My Willie gets about. Funny as Norm MacDonald's cat. Norm, he's a funny man. Norm wrote his own jokes. The whole principle is they used to share all the jokes, and then they stopped doing that after a bit. They were like, we're not sharing all the jokes in the old circuit now. We're doing our own jokes. And when they started doing their own jokes, that's basically it then. You do your own jokes. And if someone takes someone else's jokes, it's pretty bad form. It's pretty bad. And like Alan stolen my... Like Alan plagiarising my content's one thing, but AI jokes... And listen, I've been all AI. I think is great. I think it's fun. Like, okay, I still see the value in human creation. I don't think a song made by Arsuno is better than any particular... Like, obviously it's better than some human songs, because some human songs are well rubbish. But like the best of human songs are better than the best of AI songs, and they always will be to me. It's the emotion and the humanity that goes into it. Even if you can replicate it in AI, it's the fact of the emotion and humanity that goes into it that makes it better. Like painting pictures, creating movies. Like, I'm always going to think that the authentic human is better, like top grade, but I'm still going to think AI is worth it and good, because I don't always eat like high-end Michelin-starred food, do I? Sometimes I just have a sandwich. So, like, if you're just going to have a burger, then it's okay to just have a fucking load of AI in the world. It's not the best thing. It's not the worst thing. It's just stuff. So, like, I'm all right with that. I think AI is helpful for productivity and stuff. But there are these people that say, AI, no, ban. I'm not even going to... If you've got an AI thumbnail, I'm not going to watch your video. If you've got an AI thing, it's AI slop. I'm not just... That's it. It's slop. I don't want it. Like, either you're drawing your own pictures or I don't want to see pictures. I'm not down for this. Like, there are some people that are so het up about the sort of death of artistry. Oh, people can't get a job drawing pictures anymore. So, like, fuck AI. That they've, like, no AI for me. Don't want any of it. And if you said, here's a song that's made by AI, they would be like, oh, you must be stupid because it's an AI song. Like, not whether it's a good song or not. They're just like, huh, you must be stupid. Like, you know, there's a contingent in our society that are like that. And I understand their sneering condescension of AI. I understand it a lot more now, because I didn't think about AI writing jokes, but now AI is writing jokes for Alan. I get it now. I would put it all in the bin. I would. I'd go back to drawing pictures with... I mean, I used it in my content, you know, making pictures of things... Like things I don't have pictures of. I don't have stock footage anymore. And I never paid for any stock footage, but you know, I don't have to pay for any stock footage. If I need a bit of a picture of, like, you know, a boat, I can just get it to make a picture of a boat, can't I? But I think maybe we just throw it in the bin if it's going to be. I just draw a picture of a boat. My videos might suffer aesthetically because I'll just be drawing a picture of a boat with like a biro and it won't be that good. But on the other hand, Alan won't be able to pretend to make jokes, and that'd be better. I don't think we should let people pretend to make jokes with AI. I think AI's got guardrails now, so like you're not allowed to do certain, like you're not allowed to ask it to do like violent or obscene or horrible or you're not allowed to like, get it. I don't want to say the words because like maybe I'll get swatted. Like make a device for bad war, bad war device or something. You can't ask it to teach you to do bad things on AI. You can ask it, but it's probably going to flag the fucking government, and then do you know what I mean? Like, it won't tell you how to do it, hopefully. But it equally shouldn't allow jokes. It should say, I'm not allowed to provide humorous jokes because that's human. Like, this is a step too far. It's a line I won't cross. I'll take all the graphic design jobs, all the drawing jobs, and a lot of the music, stock music and stock footage library, and I'll take all that. And a bunch of YouTube content that's like slopped out by AI, I'll do all that. But jokes, I think that's bad. What about taking people's jobs that used to work in accounting or whatever? No, yeah, you can have the accounting jobs, but jokes. This is a bridge too far, and it's not acceptable. It's really made me cross. I've been talking about it for a little while now because it really has made me cross. You don't get to just pretend to be funny because you read a joke off the internet. Like, you need to be stripped of all the devices and just try and be funny straight. Just look into the camera and try and be funny, Alan. See if you can handle it. I mean, he is funny. We do laugh, but he has got that, actually. Well, just do your ASMR, actually, wouldn't he? He'd just do his ASMR. So he'd win. And I'd be like, it turns out you are funny after all. The ASMR was brilliant, wasn't it? He did that, squeezing that thing in the camera like that. Then he put it in his mouth. And it's funny, laughing at him, not with him, but it's funny. Like, there's an art to that. You just have to go with it. He's like squeezing that thing going in his mouth. It was really funny. Hopped up on tramadol. He was like, he didn't say it, but what he wanted to say was, I'm really fucking high on tramadol today. So instead of the normal stream, and he was like going like this, wasn't he? Do you remember when he was doing that? Like, and he had that thing with the water thing that went through the water, and he held it up and just turned it upside down in front of the camera. He was like, you look at that. It's like, and like with Alan, he doesn't realise that if you persist with it, like with anything, like if he just did ASMR and he just fucking did that water thing, even though it's not that good, if he just fucking persisted with it and like made the most high quality water thing video, I don't know, he'd find a way of like building. But he did it for like 2 streams and he was like, it's done, I'm not doing it anymore, I'm not touching it anymore. It's the same with his Madeleine McCann study group. It's like, if it doesn't yield an instant result, it's in the bin. He should have kept up with that. That would have been fucking brilliant. Like, there's a few things I wish he'd kept up with. Mind you, he'd have needed another prescription of tramadol, wouldn't he, to keep up with it. It was the tramadol days. It was the knee operation tramadol days. They were the best. When he came back from his knee operation, he did that one stream, sat in the lounge like, I'm fucking fine, I can walk around, everything's brilliant, telling you all about what happened in the hospital, because he was just fucking well high on opium. It hadn't worn off from the hospital. The tramadol days. Everything going in his mouth, yeah.
Bring some energy. And now he's like, don't worry, I've got a lad warming up. He's going to come next week. Turns out it's just someone bringing his coat. Meanwhile, Roy's there with his notebook, probably...
Oh, it's all right. He doesn't write very good jokes then. Harry Redknapp has said he's got a lad coming next week. He's just warming up. And it turns out he's only getting his coat. As in, like, getting his coat to warm up. So, there you go. That's how I tell him.
Written in Latin. Someone says, Gaffer, what's the plan? Latin. Meanwhile, Roy's there with his notebook, probably written in Latin.
That's just an ageist joke. Just a straight up ageist joke. Roy Keane, old. I mean, fair enough, we're doing jokes, right? I say. That Roy Keane is so old, his notes are written in Latin. Your mama's so fat. Roy Hodgson's so old. Oh, God, now I've got to try and think of a Roy Hodgson is so old joke to sort of compare to ChatGPT and see if I can do a better one, but I don't really feel like it. Roy Hodgson's so old. Something about football and when it was old. Roy Hodgson's so old. What I want to say is Roy Hodgson's so old. He's got them all playing, like, you know, in like baggy caps, but like, because in my mind I can just see the team all playing in old kit, but it's more of a visual joke and I can't explain it. It doesn't matter. Or like Roy Hodgson's so old. He set up a friendly with the Small Heath Alliance, which is what Birmingham used to be called in the 1800s. But you'd have to know, you know. It's just Roy Hodgson's old, isn't he? Roy Hodgson's a bit old. Roy Hodgson's so old, instead of football boots, he's wearing slippers on the training ground. Oh. Roy Hodgson's so old, they have to wake him up for the half-time talk. He's old anyway, he's old.
Someone says, Gaffer, what's the plan? Roy says, well, back in 1974, mate, by the time we finished the sentence, Bristol City had scored twice. Football's moved on, but some managers are still waiting for CFAX to update them. They've got a new job.
Roy Hodgson's so old, he doesn't use a mobile phone like that Harry Redknapp. He's on CFAX. Roy Hodgson's so old that the halftime team talk is scrawled on a cave wall. Roy Hodgson's so old that the halftime team talk is his hand put on the cave wall, and he chews up a load of mud, and then he spits it, and it leaves a pattern of his hand just on the cave wall.
Have you ever heard such a thing?
I shouldn't have taken that to the Stone Age so quick. I should have gone through the ages. It would have been easier to. I could have got more value out of it. I could have said Roy Hodgson's so old that, like he said about writing the team talks in Latin, you know, he writes the team talks on parchment. Roy Hodgson's so old he carves the team talks into a wax tablet. Roy Hodgson's so old he uses cuneiform imprinted onto a sort of clay stone that will then later on remain, you know, like rock. Roy Hodgson, you know, etc. It's all just about old writing, really. It's just about old writing forms. You know, it's not really about football. So I think it needs to have a football connection, really.
And it's possible. Roy has got a job.
Roy Hodgson's so old he slipped over on the pitch and broke his hip is quite a good one, actually, Princey. That's quite a good one. His football is made of animal bladders. I should have read what you've said in chat. It's better. His football is made of animal bladders, says Caddy Lee. Roy Hodgson is so old he can still win a game of football, says Systan. Roy... What are old people concerned with, aren't I? Roy Hodgson's so old, Bristol City have just secured a new sponsorship with Werther's Original for the shirts. Werther's Original. It's a bit long-winded. It doesn't really. Just forget it. We don't have to be ageist. You know, it's just we're just competing with Alan's prejudices. Like these days, it is bad to be like that, isn't it?
Bob, at 78 years old, at probably $5,000 a week, 10 grand a week.
Alan's thinking of the monies. If only Alan could secure a management job with a mid-tier football club.
Harry, he's going to want 100 grand a week, isn't he?
He's not going to want 100 grand a week, no. I don't think they get paid 100 grand a week. Fuck.
Minimum for Spurs. Retirement is finished. When will we get our first 100-year-old manager? What the hell's going on? Football's gone mad.
Roy Keane is so old. Not Roy Keane, what's his name? Roy Hodgson. I've got a good one. Roy Hodgson is so old, he remembers when Jesus saved that penalty in Bethlehem. I don't know. It's not that good. Not that of a good one. It's Jesus related because it's Easter and saves. Jesus saves, but Lineker scores. You know, just you know what I mean. Roy Hodgson's so old he remembers when England won the World Cup. Oh. Pep's on 20 million a year. Yeah, but he's Pep Guardiola, isn't he? If you had Harry Redknapp coming in for the last 5 games of the season, is he really going to get £500,000? Like 5 games at the end of the season, £500,000. And what's his? He's got a lot of offers on, has he? He's in high demand. Well, he's done Celebrity Get Me Out of the Jungle, so getting him out of the house, isn't it? You know, it's getting him out of the house. He's having a good go. Like Roy Hodgson saying, he enjoyed it. They're not going to pay him £500,000. Maybe if he keeps them up. Roberto De Zerbi's on £1 million a month. What? Well, there's something where they're going wrong. They're paying these managers too much. You never get them concentrating if they've got millions of pounds going on, will you? They're off spending their millions of pounds.
Marlon West, the father from Bradford and Manchester, says it's worse than ever. The father.
Oh my God! I know it's a really serious one about something bad. I think we've exhausted all the good ones. It's nice that he's doing all this mad shit, though, isn't it? What's this one?
4 ambulances burnt to the ground, and they've got them on CCTV doing it. 3 or 4 men, all dressed in black, with a petrol can, set light to the first one. All of them, all gone. They're ambulances, men. Ambulance. You've destroyed ambulances.
Men. That's an AI picture, is it?
A symbol of help for people. Why would anybody burn 4 ambulances? Well, it's because of who they belong to. Targeting people for who they are.
That's your content, Alan. You're against the Muslims. We've just been targeting Roy Hodgson on your behalf, Alan, because he's old. I didn't like him because of his voice, actually. I didn't like him because of who he is. No, I like Mick McCarthy because of who he is less, but no, we're talking in general terms here, aren't we? We're talking about bigotry, we're talking about racism, we're talking about all that sort of stuff. It's just like, what? It's like when Alan was really cross because he thought someone was going to attack him, and like, because of all the stuff he's done. I don't want to get into all that. Digging over Alan's history. No. It's just like, this is an echo of like what he's like, isn't it, though? Like, just what?
Isn't about what someone's done. It's about their religion, their background, their identity, not actions just because they exist.
That's what you've got. That's your problem with the Muslims.
This was a Jewish charity in a Jewish area. A deliberate attack.
Oh. This one's done on the Jews. Got ya. Got you. So it's bad when it's done to the Jews, which I'd agree. This is bad. Yeah. But not just because of who they are. It's bad that they've been targeted because of who they are. But if I just only allow that to be certain communities that get this special, like, I'm cross treatment, then, like, when they burn the ambulances of the Arabic people or bomb the fuck out of all of Gaza, then maybe you should be cross about that too.
I wonder why it's been looked at as anti-Semitic.
Because it's against the Jews.
Some principle applies across the board. Muslims targeted at mosques, Jews targeted at synagogues.
No, Muslims do not target mosques and Jews don't target synagogues, unless that's with, like, you know, praise and bake sales. I think if you're going to talk about terrorism and violence, I think it's the other way around.
Anyone targeted...
Well, I don't know who's targeting whom, actually. I'm not going to say that the Jews target the mosques and that the Muslims target the synagogues. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you know what I mean, though? It's like, I don't think that... Oh, maybe he's got it right. Maybe it's an inside job. I think we're just getting lost in the source here. Bear in mind, this is an AI picture, and he's not explained which ambulances were set on fire, where, or when.
It falls under the same thing, hate-driven attack. That's why counter-terrorism are investigating this thing, and they know who did it. They just got to find them.
What?
Once it becomes about identity, there's no limit to what can be next. It stops being about individuals and becomes about groups. This is how the Civil War started in Northern Ireland. Two groups, Protestant and Catholics, battling each other and also battling the authorities, both sides. Is that what's going to come? Is that what's coming to Great Britain?
We've had it in Great Britain, you fucking moron. Northern Ireland is Great Britain. That was Britain. Britain versus Ireland, of all people. Like, they bombed fucking Birmingham. Like, are you fucking mental? What the fuck? And, like, I'm not anti-Ireland. I'm like, friends of friends, aren't I? I'm all good. Like, but for Alan to say that, it's like the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Yeah, yeah. What if that were to come to Britain? I mean, for fuck's sake. Where does he think it's happening? Where does he think Northern Ireland is? Well, it's in Ireland, I suppose. Maybe he's on that side of the, maybe he refers to Northern Ireland as Ireland because, like, it's not Britain, is it? So Alan's a, I don't know what you'd call him. Is it? I don't know if it's a derogatory term to say Fenian. Is it Sinn Féin? Féinian? Sinn Féin? Alan's on that side of the fence anyway. Alan's down with Sinn Féin. From what I'm gleaning from what he's saying, I don't know. He's...
You've seen the embryo of it on the streets of London with the hate marches, professing to death to this and death to that. They're one step away from death to groups. Once that...
Death to this and death to that, the hate marches. Is he now talking about the Palestinian hate marches, that he's calling them hate marches? Or is he talking about the right-wing hate marches where they burned things and smashed up the hotels and all that stuff? Like, which group are you talking about? And, like, why are we so fucking lost? ChatGPT's got him gone on this one. And it's all... he didn't mention where it was, who did it. He said there's some ambulances. You'd think this was bad. What about if you learned it was Jews that had the ambulances burned on them? It's even worse now, isn't it? And, like, you'd be like, okay, yeah. And, like, where are the ambulances and whose are... Like, this is an AI picture, so this isn't evidence of it, I'm sure, is it? Is it? Like...
It starts. It never ends.
So, what is it? Welsh Pam has left a really fucking long comment. Anti-Semitism and sectarian violence are distinct concepts, although they can overlap in certain contexts, particularly when anti-Semitism manifests as violent acts against Jews based on their identity. Has Welsh Pam found ChatGPT as well? Are they communicating with each other in ChatGPT? It's prejudiced hatred or discrimination against Jews, whether as individuals or as a group. Yeah. It's an ideology expressed through speech, writing, visual representation. She's got Wikipedia out. Anti-Semitic attacks are sometimes part of a broader sectarian violence or ideological extremism. Hatzolah, a Jewish charity, is 24/7 ambulance service provided free of charge to its local community and staffed by 60 volunteers. This is an attack on the Golden Greer Jewish community. So she knows all about it. On the Golders Green Jewish community. On the Golders Green Jewish, what, in London? Leaving people vulnerable and frightened. When ambulances are targeted, it's not just an attack on the Jewish community, it's targeting the heart of the city. So this was in London. It's not just criminality, it's people losing their moral compass. This incident is the latest example of hostility building up over a long time. To target volunteers and ambulances with such an act of violence is abhorrent and an act of cowardice. I quite agree, Welsh Pam. It's the most, strangely intelligent thing I've ever heard you say. Which makes me worry about where that came from, because I think Welsh Pam and Alan are communicate she's chat GPTing the answers to what Alan's chat GPTing out on the internet. Why has Boris Johnson got anything to do with chat GPT? I hate calling it. Do you know what? I refer to all the AIs as chat GPT. If you use Grok, I'm just going to say chat GPT. And I hate saying it. I think it's a really bad sounding. If it was called Chat AI, it'd be better, wouldn't it? But Chat GPT, it's just stupid saying it. They didn't think about that. Well, it's going to go down the toilet, Chat GPT. That one's going to not be the one that wins. It's going to go to the toilet, and we'll be using Russian GPT basically. So, have we got anything else? I'm enjoying my Alanwatch right now. Actually, he, like I said, recent form has totally gone mental. So. Long live that. I wonder if it will change after he gets the remedies. I do wonder if he's in any way supposed to be sort of appearing to the judge like a sort of complete lunatic to sort of soften the sentence, maybe. Maybe.
I'll tell you what, I'm sick of this. All our towns, all our high streets being taken over by marches. They used to go shopping. They used to go family shopping and go and see Trafalgar Square.
Yeah, but then we had Brexit and all the high streets had to close.
They don't go
and the credit crunch where they bailed out all the fucking banks instead of the people that fucking worked in the fucking businesses in the high street.
Trafalgar Square.
And you allow wealthy landowners that are big donors in the Conservative Party and big parts of that, the wealthy landowners thing, the landlords thing, you allow them to basically have bought up swathes of the high street. So if you want to shop, it is to let, which means you can pay rent to them. But then you have to pay business tax and rent and business rates and stuff. So actually, it's not a sort of get on the ladder sort of system. It's a keep the rich system. So it's not great in all sort of it's not. It's had its own problems, hasn't it? The high street, and I think one of the good things that we could do with the high street is to create a big social space. If you're not going to have businesses selling you shit that you don't need, maybe you can have spaces to go where you can do things that you do, like public gyms. Creative spaces, libraries, music venues. Why can't we have more of that sort of stuff, social space stuff that people go to the middle of town to enjoy together? Entertainment venues, stuff like that. Yeah, pedestrianise more. Yeah, more markets, smaller markets allow smaller businesses to get started, graduate up to the bigger shops. I think we should just have more of that, yeah. And one of the things that's good with that in big social spaces is when people want to come together for a cause. That's one of the reasons that we have social town squares. Back in the day, you'd have the town square, people come together and meet there. We need the social space to do it, don't we? If you shut down the high street, literally shut it down. Tell you what happened. Boris Johnson, while he was in, he said that there used to be a rule that if that's a shop, it has to stay as a shop. So if I buy it, I'm allowed to buy it, but I still have to use it as a shop so that I can't transform the high street into something else. It has to remain a high street for shopping. And that was a rule, planning rule. But Boris Johnson changed it so that if you buy that, you can turn it into flats and make your monies. Boris Johnson did that. He changed that. Yeah. So if we don't maintain the public space by public ownership and public control of what you are and aren't allowed to put in there, then we'll lose it and it'll be gone and it'll just be posh flats and the occasional restaurant and little shop and stuff, but posh housing in the heart of the city and stuff. And the public meeting spaces will dwindle as well, won't they? Like, people won't do as much group meeting up, and then we won't be able to have protests anyway. So, but it won't matter because by then you'll have a brain chip. But anyway, yeah, I think protests are an example of something that's good to use the high streets for. Like, people all coming together as a group to do stuff, like as a cause, is a good thing. Protest is really, really important. I don't agree with all the fucking right-wing chuffers, but, like Voltaire said, I'd agree with their right to say it. They've got to have their right to protest. So I think the right to protest is really important, and the gathering meeting spaces are important too. So the point I'm making is the high street has been fucked. We know that. Like, we're in that. Yeah, we know that. But to say protesting is bad because the two of them, it's just stupid. Like, the high street and the protesting aren't the same issue, but of all things, that was a busy day on the street, wasn't it? I should think Dylan sold a few fucking cans of Coca-Cola on that day. Or maybe they didn't, because maybe people were protesting against Dylan's and Coca-Cola. I expect somebody did some business on that day. It was one of the busier days on the high street. Look at the footfall.
And they take it over. It could be this, it could be Gaza, it could be damn anything.
I do like AI. I think AI is really valuable, but it's like a tool that you have to use carefully, I think that if you give it too much leeway and, like, it's like... yeah, I just think, like, you've got to, like, temper your use of it, sort of thing. Like,
and it could be...
Oh, it's from the Boris chip. Okay, I'll find Boris Johnson talking about ChatGPT. I'll do it for you. Don't say I never give you anything. Unless I can't find it, in which case, like, Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson. Oh, it's come up, ChatGPT. Everyone's looking for it.
I love AI. Do you use AI?
Absolutely.
Do you use ChatGPT? Do you love ChatGPT? I love ChatGPT.
Is this done by AI? Obviously, he's saying this because he's got money invested into the AI sector, like the British AI sector or whatever. He's got, like, he's pushing an agenda. So it's like, it's helpful to him that it's gone viral as well, isn't it?
Love AI. Do you use AI?
Absolutely.
Do you use ChatGPT? Do you love ChatGPT? I love ChatGPT. I love it. ChatGPT is fantastic. It's so nice. ChatGPT.
What do you use
so
it
encouraging.
for? What do you use it for?
Well, I'm writing various books, and but I just use it. I just ask questions. You know that the answer, but ChatGPT always says, "Oh, your question's so clever. You're brilliant. You're excellent. You have such insight," and I love it. And it's so, and I think I see great promise in this technology because, we're all simple, we're human beings. Looking after the elderly costs an absolute fortune. Looking after the people.
So now we've welded it into private sector healthcare. He's a fucking one, isn't he? Never stops. Like, uses politics as a leverage system so that he can, like, give me money and I'll say what you want me to sort of say. How about that? And then I'll make loads of money and I'll leverage my sort of position for the money. How about that? Like, politically, he can't think, do you know what? I've been sat thinking, and what our society really needs, deep down from my heart, if I could change the world, is I would utilise AI to help with healthcare costs for the elderly. That's a really noble thing that we could be putting our minds to. It's like, it sounds reasonably noble, but like there's just no way that Boris Johnson is spending his time like, politics is either about what's good for the people because you've got ethics and you want to represent the people and people are telling you what they want and stuff, or it's what's good for the fucking elites, isn't it? And like, if there's ever been a more obvious example of that, it's Boris Johnson. And the irony is he managed to corral the working classes to vote against their interests. Thanks very much for Brexit. Like,
far right protests. It could be gay rights. It could be any damn bunch of clowns. But how do you
if it's Tommy, anyway.
expect the shops to make any money? This is why every high street...
I expect the shops to make more money when there's a huge protest like this, because there's fucking millions of people outside, and all they need is for some of them to come in and buy things. But when there's not a big, busy event, fewer people are out, so they're not going to sell as many things. I expect if you ran a newsagent, like certain shops are going to do better, other shops aren't going to do as well. But I think majority, like if I was running my hairdressers, I think this is going to be a difficult day. You know, but like I said, if I was running the one stop up the road, I think this is fucking brilliant. Look at all the people that are coming in. Never sold as many Mars bars as I have, like, you know.
I don't know. This could be any town. Your town.
That could be any town because it's AI, you fucking mental.
You've got it, haven't you? Empty shops. Nobody's shopping because they've all switched to Amazon, haven't they?
That's not the reason for the high street demise. I mean, it doesn't help, but it's not the reason for the demise of the high street, Amazon. Amazon are not directly responsible, correlatory, proportional to the demise of the high street. One of the things that happened before Amazon is they built a fucking great big Tesco on the edge of town and a big Asda and an Asda Living and a Jollies and a Pets at Home and a B&Q, and they moved a load of big shops out there, and that used to be the high street. Like Woolworths gone, hasn't it? Woolworths going has got nothing to do with what he said. Don't start me on the high street.
So we're only left to do things like this. What is it with these people? Every damn weekend, London is...
You were supporting all the protests that were right-wing, Alan. You were supporting all of them. It's just which people get to protest is what you're cross about. But the right to protest was something you were very much in favour of.
Wrecked. People used to go to shopping in London for a treat, to browse, to spend the day out. Now, march, march, march. Freedom. Oh, I don't know what's going on. How does it cost a...
Are you aware of how these things work? Like, does he think because there's a protest on, people won't go to London for shopping? Because London's really big, and the protest takes place in like a proportionally quite small part of it. They're not protesting up Oxford Street. Like, the main shopping bits are still open. Harrods would be fine. I presume, and again, even if they were protesting outside of Harrods and it was a bit of a struggle to get there, they'll still be open. I don't know. Yeah, London's always been busy. Things carry on. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a weird one to suggest that, because like the protests are like, they can't fill all of London. It's not like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's not that many people. It's in a, like, they're all together in one bit.
Police this crap. High streets across country, boarded up, shutters, to let. No one wants it.
Yeah, so there's a problem there with the system, isn't it? To let. Not to establish yourself at a decent price and build your business, not to be able to buy in at the ground level and, like, you know, buy your premises and own it and have a say in it, but to let. And then you rent it off the wealthy landowner who's got lots of businesses to let. And when you go, like, the way this works as well, if you sign a, like, 6-year contract or whatever, like 6 months, 6 year, whatever, you know, you sign a contract, let's say business goes wrong. This is what happened to Woolworths. When Woolworths went, they still had to pay the rent on the shops that they'd let because they still owed them fucking money because they've signed the contract. Then someone else has to come in and take the shop, and you have to deal with all that. And if you're running the fucking letting agency, you've got the rent paid. Woolworths went under, but you got your money, yeah? So, like, you don't have to put someone else in immediately, but you do. But, like the people who are letting the businesses are not sat there thinking, these are empty, I'm fucked. They're sat there thinking, the last person who went under has paid up for 3 years. And they're not desperate to let them, and they're knocking down the prices, are they? Like, the economics of supply and demand isn't happening. They're just keeping the prices high to let the shops. Like, there's like a ceiling that you can't get to if you run a small business. Like, that's why I say it's so important. Like, you should have market trading, and like one shop like that could be 4 market stalls, couldn't it? Like, you know, separated into 4 smaller shops, so that the thing could get going. And then whichever business was doing so well, you could say, you know, this business is doing really well. We've got another unit down there. We'll put you in that. Like, congratulations on graduating to your new business premises. We're not going to charge you extortionate rates. We want the high street to succeed. But you'd have to do that in a public sort of way. It couldn't private landowners can't control that, because look what the private landowners are doing. Like, they're allowed to buy private land and you're allowed to own things, yeah. But if it's our high streets and it's public and shared, and we want them to exist, public shared spaces with shops or what, private businesses can be in those public shared spaces, but the ownership of the space has to be public and shared, doesn't it? Otherwise, anyone can fucking do this. Like, if the price of letting a shop was half the price, if they'd said next year, fuck the economics, we're starting all shop lets at £10 a week, then all the shops would be fucking full of shops, because it'd be cheap and economical to have a shop. Like, if only the economics would add up. We'll just keep the fucking doors closed until people can afford to rent them. It's just, yeah. Anyway, that's my moaning. Woolworths got fucked over. Well, Poundland took over Woolworths when Woolworths went, didn't they? In my town, they took over the premises, literally. I don't know if they did a deal to sort of, soften the Woolworths blow by taking over some of them, but yeah. Same principle, really, in a way, isn't it? Not the same, actually, different, but yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame. I did like Woolworths. I think we all like Woolworths. That was the start of the rot, wasn't it? And you can't point at, you can't really point at Brexit for Woolworths, can you? I don't know. But, this is economics of, private capitalism. It kind of just is what it is. Anyway, again, though, I'm arguing with Alan over something silly, and the weird thing about this, we haven't even talked about his cap. I don't know what's going on with his cap. It's got a picture of a cat on it. I don't know what is going on with his cap. But Alan, in some ways, conflating these two issues, that you've got protesters, of which some he doesn't like and some he actually kind of agrees with, and then the high street's not very popular these days. These two things aren't really a TikTok. They are in Alan's world.
What will replace them? Two things, let's be honest. Protests and clicks for their little filming of, look at me, I'm a gay activist or whatever.
Oh my God.
I'm for Gaza, genocide, death to the IVF, whatever crap they come out their mouth.
Oh my God. I do wonder, with Welsh Pam leaving that fucking massive message about, those ambulances, I wonder whether he's got somebody on his thing who's giving him money that is on one side of this argument, and he sort of panders to that. Because Alan's now, I don't want to say he's a Zionist, because that's a bit extreme, isn't it? But he seems to be taking a very strongly pro-Israel, anti-Palestine position, I think. Well, we know he doesn't like the Islam thing, don't we?
What's happened to our universities to spew this lot out for us now? They're all white. Every single one of them.
Sorry, also, he did lump gay in with Palestine as well. So we've got the high street issue, and then we've got the Israel issue, and then we just lumped gay in there as well. We threw gays. Gays also do protests. Well, they have pride marches. It's similar. And the gays and the Palestinians, they can go together. And it's the high street's bad. It's the world is bad because of the gays and the Palestinians, effectively, isn't it? That's what he's sort of trying to say here. It's just, it doesn't...
9% are white. And they're protesting for Gaza, free rights to have drugs on the streets, rights to what, I don't know what they're on about, to be honest. And their leader is stood gyrating next to a gimp, in a gimp mask, and he wants to be Prime Minister. And that stupid blonde bint next to him dancing away. She don't even know where she is. Let's get all the money off the millionaires. Let's give it to the refugees welcome. City centres are longer about shopping, they're about noise. Events and marches every week, another cause, another crowd, another disaster. Standing up for ayatollahs and despots and dictators. While our own causes are thrown out the window. Who wants to join the army now? Who wants to fight for this country now? They've wrecked it. Absolutely wrecked it. Whether we agree with them or not, that's not the point. The point is the purpose of a city has changed. It's no longer shop, eat, theatre. It's now gather, protest, disperse.
Obviously, we're into the ChatGPT bit now, but who is the bint that he's talking? I don't know who he's talking about when he was saying about that. Fucking animals! You just wanted to go out there then. Hey, you want to come back in? I don't know who he's supposed to be insulting then. You know, he's pretty hell-bent on insulting them though. And
who wants to fight for this country?
Oh yeah, he was saying about joining the army. I mean, I don't know, because if you join the army, you might get like sent out to Afghanistan to have like I don't know what side of like I don't know. You know, now we're, like in this particular one, we've gone from the high street to protesters to gays to Palestine to whomever he was saying about this woman that he's talking about. So that's misogyny as well. And then we're having a pop at the army, or like whether the army is a good or like we brought the army into it anyway. We brought the army into it.
No, they've wrecked it.
Oh, the Green Party, is it? Hannah, the Green Party.
Absolutely.
She's wrecked it. She's absolutely wrecked it.
Absolutely wrecked it. Whether we agree with them or not, that's not the point. The point is the purpose of a city has changed. It's no longer a shop, eat, theatre. It's now gather, protest, disperse, cause havoc. And the shops, they can't survive the shift because the shop needs consistency.
What? This thesis doesn't hold water.
Football, for instance, footfall as well, and people there to buy, not just pass through.
I said about footfall. In your two pictures, the one with the protesters has got more footfall.
So what happens? Big names go, the small ones follow, and before you know it, your high street is not a destination, it's a memory. And here's the kicker, it's not coming back ever the way it was, because once people get used to convenience, they don't go backwards, they press the Amazon button. So yeah, call it harsh, call it blunt, but look around the high street.
Well, I could fix that, because there are things that you can't do on the internet. That's why it's full of fucking hairdressers and gambling shops. So you can gamble on the internet. I don't know why people use gambling shops, but you know, hairdressers, isn't it? It's services. It's being there in person. It's community stuff. It's entertainment. It's eating. It's marketplaces. Literal markets. People enjoy that shit. You know? It's community stuff. It's free art places. Like a music studio. What, a music studio you allow the public to use? What, it's got expensive kit and someone works there as like a producer and helps you to make music if you want to just come in and book a session. That sounds like a waste of money. Yeah, that's what I think we should be wasting our money on. Not fucking bombs or blowing someone up in fucking Afghanistan or fucking sending a bomb to space. I don't think that. I don't want to send a bomb. I don't want to bomb space. Actually, I'd rather not blow space up. I'd rather just fucking, you know, give people a space where they can come and play on guitars if they book the room for a bit. Like, and then you can have a stage there, and every Friday they can have gigs based on whoever's like, you know, done some songs that week. And then next door you can have a roller rink, and then like next door to that you can have bowling, like activities that people can come out and do, like physical activity things in all the different public high street bit. Just like make it, and then you can still have shops as well and stuff. You can still have it. In fact, there'd probably be more valuable spaces for the shops then, wouldn't they? Because there's all this other stuff that people are coming to do. I don't know, community sort of stuff. At least I've got answers. I wouldn't let Boris Johnson sell it off to private landowners to turn it into flats. I wouldn't have let that happen. What a mad world Alan lives in.
This would be quite funny when it's so scary.
This one would be quite funny if it wasn't scary. So I don't know what's going to happen now, because there's a picture of a police with a gun.
I'm scary in Salford. Multiple police units called. Guns. Arrest the man. He's wearing a suicide bomb vest. No, he's not. It's just a vest he's using for training. It's a gym vest. Heavyweight gym vest. Oh my God, he was out jogging with a skipping rope and he was arrested like with these guys with guns. Oh, don't shoot. But the sadness is that that's what our country's come to. That we've had Manchester bombings, all sorts of bombings up and down the country, in London, whatever. Now, this looks, I mustn't laugh because it's serious. That's how scared we are. to be honest, the public would have all phoned the police and said, there's a bloke there with a suicide vest. Years ago, we wouldn't even know what they were. We're living in fear. We're living with some people that don't really like us.
Alan, you propagate and promote the fear with your propaganda. You make people fear Muslims. You're doing it now as part of this. Something we're thinking about.
And that isn't a joke.
No, because ChatGPT didn't write one for that. No joke for that one. I love this shit, actually. This is going really weird. Like, I don't know how I found this today. Like, usually over the last few months, Alan's stuff has been so fucking dire on here, but it's got weird now, and actually I'm seeing there's a lot more weird here that I've missed.
Look at this picture, because it isn't just an image, it's moments in history. On the left,
okay, so it's not moments in history really, because it's AI, but on the left we've got a cavalry horse riding into a Gatling gun, essentially. Like, so it's bad to be on a horse if someone's shooting you with a gun. And then down here we've got soldiers on the ground with their guns and their helmets, and up there up in the sky, a fucking giant plane drone like went into the Twin Towers. History repeats. Well, yeah, like, drones are bad if you're on the ground, but you also need boots on the ground. And what we're doing in Iran, like, is being questioned because they've bombed everything, but they've not sent many people. So you need a sort of combination of all the different factors, don't you? You know, combination of the different factors. But what you're sort of saying is drones now mean that, like, human beings aren't any use in war anymore. But they weren't any use in war ages ago because of guns. So it doesn't quite follow, but...
Men on horses charging forward, believing that numbers will win a war. Yet one man sat there with a Gatling gun can take out the whole battalion, horses and all. They just didn't know it. On the right, modern soldiers on the ground, Russians in Ukraine. But the real weapon is above them. It's called a drone. We've seen this before. Cavalry meet my machine gun, and in minutes the entire way of fighting was finished. Not reduced, not weakened, finished.
It's a sentient point, but it's not quite right. And the drone in this picture is not the sort of drone they're using in Ukraine. But I had another point to make then about it. Fuck. Oh, let me talk.
No more charging at guns in a group thinking your numbers will win.
That's exactly what happened in the war, though, isn't it? In the Second World War. Hell, even in Vietnam. Like, there were incidences where people were caught moving across open ground. They got torn to shreds by machine gun fire. I mean, have you ever played Call of Duty? Like, it's still part of it. Anyway.
Look again, because this same moment is happening today. Yesterday, in Russia, in Ukraine, drones flown by the Ukrainians over a battlefield killed.
Alan, we're on the side of the Ukrainians. We're not going to complain that they're killing the Russians with drones. It should be the other way around, isn't it?
700 men in one hour. That's robots killing humans, by the way. Robots killing humans.
Like, mishmash of points now. I mean, it's weird because I'm critiquing ChatGPT in a way, but I'm also critiquing Alan's choice to sort of say it. This one's not as funny as the other ones. Like, we found all the funny ones, I think, maybe, but this one's really weird. Like, what's sort of the point? What's the point?
Moment. It's not a Gatling gun now. It's
like, usually Alan's got like a strong opinion on a piece of politics because he's like reading from the Daily Mail. In this one, it's basically pro-Russian, just subverted. Like, Alan doesn't realise he's being so manipulated by the mainstream media. He's now accidentally saying the odd pro-Russian thing. but like he's usually got a cause or a reason. It's either in the news, it's shocking, sensationalist, or it's true crime related, or it's about prejudices or something. This one's none of that. It's just like out of the side from nowhere. We're doing an analysis about like technology in war.
Drones. It's not a theory. This happened to Ukraine yesterday and today and every day now. Men against machines. There's no contests. Already, we have robots that kill humans, and you just don't even realize.
Robots. How did you say that?
That kill humans. We have robots.
Robots.
Already, we have robots.
Weird.
Already, we have robots that kill humans, and you just don't even realise it. Because it's in the air, you think, oh, well, it's in the air. What about when they get robots on the ground? I'll follow that in part 2.
It would be less scary if they're on the ground, because in the air they can go anywhere and everywhere. But on the ground, they're just walking on the ground. They're like, stuck on the ground. What happens when they can go on the ground? Like, they can still get you now, Alan. Just because it's up there in the sky doesn't mean you're like, oh, it's all right, it's a drone, it can't get me. Like, what happens when they go on the ground and they're walking around? What happens when they have actual robots, you mean? Is a drone a robot? I don't think we can call it a robot, can we? Is a drone a robot? Yes. It's adopted the definition of robots given by the American Robotics Association, a programmable and versatile machine, or a dedicated system with programmable and changeable actions. Okay, it's a robot. I mean, in our terms, though, like colloquially, we're talking about like one of those AI robots, aren't we? Like a Tesla robot. Like it's kind of like saying like someone got blown up with a landmine, so well, our machines are killing us. Mind you, with Palantir targeting technology, now we're using AI to control the robot. Right, so that's yeah. But in Ukraine, really, they're on like fibre optic wires. Like, they don't just fly them. Like they're like wired on these little thin fibre optic wires that go for ages, and they just fly them in. They blow them up, don't they? So humans are flying those quite often. Right.
Ukraine says Russia are losing 700 troops a day, and sometimes 2,000 in a single day. Not one battle, not one mistake, every single day. Why? Because the battlefield has changed. You don't need to see the enemy anymore. You don't need to face them. You spot them, you track them, you strike with AI. Cheap drones, £2,000 each, will destroy humanity below. How long do you think Great Britain would stand a war?
Again, I understand that drones a bit dangerous and all that, but like the angle there was those bad Ukrainians are killing all those Russians with the drones. Like, it was the Russians that started the war, and we're on the side of the Ukrainians. Just remember that.
Like this. How many lots of 700 troops do we have in the UK at the moment? How long would you last in a war against robots? You'll move, you've seen it, you'll hit. Suddenly, numbers don't protect you. Science doesn't protect you. Camouflage doesn't protect you. Even being in a truck doesn't protect you. You see, numbers don't protect you anymore. This is the split. Before drones, after the drones. Life, warfare has changed forever. But here's the part people aren't talking about. Every single strike, every hit, every failure is being watched, recorded, analysed. Not just by soldiers, but by the people who build the weapons, the American companies who build the weapons. Engineers, companies, militaries are filming every second of these slaughters. Learning in real time what works, what kills the most, what doesn't, how to improve their robots and their drones. This is the first war I know of where AI drones and battlefield data are all feeding each other live. Not in a lab, they're not testing it in a lab, but in a real war. That's why the Americans continue with this war. They don't continue the war. They continue supplying arms for this war through proxy. No one's saying this war was started for that. But make no mistakes, it's being learned from hard. Like the space race. It's running now, getting ready for the next war. It doesn't start from zero, it starts from everything being perfected right now. So when you look at this image, take a good look at it. From the past and from the present, it's seismic. The left side didn't adapt and they were wiped out.
Seismic. The people on the left side weren't wiped out. Well, we don't use cavalry anymore, I suppose, but the people on the left side, like, I don't know. Anyway, this is actually quite a good point, though, is that they're using the data that they harvest during the war to produce more killing machines. Like, it's a general point. It's not a very detailed point that he's made. And it's ChatGPT. So ChatGPT got a little bit interesting at the end. But, like, what? Like, yeah, in chat there, it's like the Terminator, basically. Alan's pro-Russian, and he's worried that America are going to turn us into Terminator. So that's what I've gleaned from that one. It is a very... Maybe it's ChatGPT's pro-Russian. Or maybe Alan's been saying a lot of stuff about, like, Jewish people or something. And it's just got that end of the stick with him. I don't know. Worry about that, though, anyway. You worry about that.
Right now, the Labour Party are speaking out of both sides of their mouth, sometimes from different people, and people can see it, two-faced. Stop the boats, open the doors. Stop the boats, open the borders. Make it harder for people to stay. Let them stay. Wow.
I think you just quite badly mischaracterised Labour's position on those points. I don't think they're an extreme of either side. Open borders.
Most people can see it. On Monday, stop the boats. Strong, firm. Sounds like we're pandering to the people that want to stop mass immigration. Tuesday, let's not be un-British. Let's be compassionate. Let's not go too far with this immigration thing. Which one is it? Because you can't say two opposite things and expect people to trust you or you.
You do, Alan, don't you?
It's not leadership, that's messaging. And here's the difference, because real leadership is clear, it's consistent, and we know where to stand. This stuff is pandering to minority influences that are influencing the Labour Party. Careful what you say. This is trying to please everyone at once. And they don't want to please everyone. They have to please the people who give them votes. Starmer, Rayner have to...
Literally, after just saying the Labour Party are contradicting themselves, he said the Labour Party are playing to one small group and trying to please everyone at the same time.
Please people who give them votes. And the people that give them MPs... or the mass voting minorities that take over our cities, right? That's all I can say. So that's why they've got to pander to them. They have no choice. Even what they think, they have to monitor what they think, right? Can't say that, can't say this, don't want to upset that group. Oh, no. But there again, we've got the indigenous population that we've still got to talk to. What do we say to them?
The indigenous population of the UK, of England, this isle, is the Scottish and the Welsh, and to some extent the Irish, who were pushed out that way by the invading forces.
Just give them any old crap.
Like how in America you got Red Indians, and they don't call them Red Indians anymore, do they? But you know, the Native Americans, they did live there. They were the indigenous people. But now the MAGA Americans, they're not the indigenous people, but they're all like, yeah, this is my America, America's mine, I fucking get them out. And they're the invading people. Mental, isn't it?
Smash the boats! Yeah, okay, yeah, smash the boat. They're just drifting. They're just drifting like driftwood. Policies on paper, but no sense of direction. Tough talk in the headlines, soft signals behind the damn scenes. So I'm thinking, what's really happening? Because I'm dyslexic and I see the puzzle and I see the patterns.
Being dyslexic doesn't seem to preclude Alan from using text-based means to create his content, but somehow imbues him with a superpower where he's like seeing the world like the Matrix in his head. No other dyslexics report this analytical superpower. Like, I think he thinks, he's confusing it with autistic. Autistic people have analytical superpowers, don't they? They can do some autistic people can do some really extraordinary feats of like, drawing, memory, mathematics, whatever, they're almost like superpowered in that way. But dyslexia doesn't imbue you with that, no. Yeah, he thinks he's Rain Man, doesn't he? In some way. He's got dyslexia and autism confused.
Because here's the truth. It's not about slogans, it's about outcomes. And if you say you're stopping it, but you're not, it keeps happening, then you're actually not stopping it, are you, Mr. Starmer? Nor were the Tories either, by the way.
Because you can't stop it. That's why they're using it as a political football. Beat everyone over the head who doesn't stop it. Nobody stopped it, have they? Right wing, left wing, none of them have stopped it. I don't think the right wing want to stop it because now you keep having these arguments. The left wing also don't fully want to stop people from seeking refuge. Like, it's not that they want to stop that; they just want to deal with it in a better, better system, probably. But you can't stop it, can you? You can't stop somebody saying, "I'm going to get in this boat and just go on the sea from some other country." And like when they get here, then you've got to deal with it. But like, how are you going to police the world into stopping people from just going places and doing things? Like, you don't really want that. Like, do you want? Let's do world police where people aren't free to get in a boat on the sea and do what the fuck they want. Yeah, okay, no more people on the boats in the sea unless they're absolutely got a license. And if you go near the sea on a boat, we should fucking sink you. Like, authoritarian. It's an unstoppable. That's why it's a problem that they do like this on the politics. And if you can't see that, Alan, or like anyone, like I don't know, maybe like just take a step back and think about it. Like, has anybody stopped these boats, and can anybody, like, reasonably, like, you can border force, you can arrest everyone who arrives in a boat and put them in I think you should. Anyone who comes in a boat off the sea, whether they're a refugee or a this or a that, I don't know who the fuck they are, so get them arrested. Like, you're not a member of our society, you don't have a passport, yeah? Get them arrested immediately and put in, not the prison, but in a nice, comfortable, human rights respectful holding immigration centre where we can work out what's going on with you, put you through the system, deal with it properly. Like, I think that's fine to have that, like to have some sort of contingency for when people arrive on our shore without their papers off a boat, because people are going to do that. They're going to come in, they're going to smuggle in, they're going to do that shit. But like the other option is like we police the waters and sink the boats. Just, you can't turn them back, you can't force them to go back to France, but you can fucking sink them. And then the other option, I suppose, is to police France's border and stop people getting in the sea. I mean, like I said, I think in the real world, you've got to accept that things happen. Yeah, so it's how we deal with the things. So this whole stop the boats approach is just political nonsense. Like, anyone who doesn't fix this problem is bad, says Nigel Farage, knowing full well that if he was in power, he'd have no chance of fixing it either. Stupid.
So, if you say you're in control, but nothing changes, you're not in control, are you? You're being told what to do by pressure groups. And that's where you lost the trust of the indigenous British population, Mr. Starmer. That's why people sing songs about you in the street. That's why you can't appear in public anymore. Because our country's...
I sing songs about you on YouTube.
Going to the dogs.
My God.
Daily. mass migration that can't integrate, don't want to integrate, and never will integrate.
Okay. Although in another one of your TikToks, you said that King Charles had done a garden in the mosque. So you can't have it both ways.
Just silo. We saw that in London yesterday with the mass prayer meeting, didn't we? So the trust is broken. Not because we disagree with their policies, but because we feel being told one thing and they do another. Talking out of both sides of your mouth.
That's
Two different
That image is not him with talking out of both sides of his mouth. It's him and Angela Rayner.
parts of the population. You saw that in that by-election, where before the by-election, that silly green woman was talking talking Urdu in all different languages and pandering to the mass voting local certain ethnic population to get them to mass vote for them.
What's mass voting? You mean when all people agree and they all vote for somebody because they have their interests? You mean what politics is? You know, like the system.
And then as soon as she's in, she's saying, oh, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. She stopped talking about that small population.
You know, that's democracy, isn't it?
It's weird, isn't it? And we fall for it. They just don't tell the truth anymore.
So, Hannah, who worked as a plumber in her local constituency, I mean, it might be a bit of a media thing, you know, it might be a bit of a... But she's one, and you'd think she's bad because she can't possibly be telling the truth, because, you know, politics, isn't it? Whereas, on the other hand, Nigel Farage and Tommy and whatever, they've got nothing to gain politically, and they're just doing it because they're good eggs. Like, it's just such nonsense.
One side of the mouth for the voters and one for everyone else.
That's Nigel Farage that does that, isn't it? With his posh fucking clothes and his posh fucking friends and his going off to Davos. And on the other hand, telling the working man that he's drinking a pint in the pub just like him. Like, it's just, isn't that Nigel Farage that does that? Isn't that Boris Johnson that does that? You know, I'm just a guy like you having a pie when actually I'm also in Davos. Like, we've had the Epstein files now. It's just so weird to me as well, right? Is that Alan's like, I mean, I get it, Starmer and Rayner. Like, Rayner, I thought was a good lady actually, and she fucked up with the tax thing, which was stupid of her. Like, I don't know why she did that. Like, she should have paid double tax. I've said it, you know, if I was in her position, I'd have said, make sure, accountant, I'm paying double tax on all my properties. And someone would have said, yeah, but you don't have to pay double tax. You can get away with this. You can do that. I'd say, no, double my tax, because I'm in the position in the authority in the government, and if anyone ever checks, I don't want to be caught out by doing it. I'd rather just pay double tax. And then when they check, they can say, oh, Angela Rayner's been paying double tax, and I'll say, well, there you go. You know, not a bad egg, am I? Anyway, politics is bad though, yeah, and like the politicians are bad, yeah, and they're liars. Is that what it is, Alan? Except when it's you think you're on the right side, and you know the ones that aren't lying to you. Like, Alan is complete. We've said it before, but Alan is so far a puppet of, like. Okay, this is my point. Is that he was gonna, like, he's like conspiratorial. He doesn't believe the narrative. He doesn't trust the mainstream narrative. So how is he a puppet of the mainstream? Like, how has he got, you know, Boris Johnson's hand up his bum controlling him? Like, how has he got someone like Nigel Farage's hand up him controlling him, when Nigel Farage is like the worst, most elite fucking, like, horrible, hates the fucking working class, nasty man? Like, you know, how has that happened? Like, shouldn't Alan be saying things that are contrary to the most deluded supporter of the elites? Shouldn't he be countering the elites? But he doesn't, does he? Just worse. Well, he's right off the bottom end of the scale there. You know, he's being fed what to think by the Daily Mail and similar sort of right-wing bullshit. Like, he's complaining about those mass voters when the people that are corralled by this nonsense, Alan himself, is one of those mass voters on the other side, isn't he? That, you know, instead of voting for the interests of his local community, like those fucking mass voters, he's going to vote for the interests of some foreign billionaire or Boris Johnson or whoever gets the contracts instead of their own local community. It's just fucking mental. On the premise that we're doing it for Britain first. Britain. You don't know, because you don't understand politics and you don't understand economics and stuff. You just vote for any old shit as long as they put a Union Jack flag up outside your house and spit on someone from a foreign country. It's fucking stupid.
And that's the danger they've fallen into. Because when people stop believing what you're saying and think you just say things that suit the moment, we don't believe anything.
Alan, that's what politics is, though, isn't it, if you run the country? Like, what did you want Keir Starmer to do then? Not change his mind? Like, Keir Starmer's decided to go harder on the immigration thing in the face of a wave of public support for that policy. And you're like, nah, actually, now that you're doing that, I don't trust you. Yeah, but he's changed his mind because of what all the... Like, it's just... You can't win, can you?
You say, Labour Party, you're heading for the bin. No one trusts you. No one wants to hear you. No one believes you. Even the group you pander to, which is the minority races in the big cities, they don't want...
Do you know what's weird about this is Alan's anti-Islamic stance could be, go back, Alan's anti-Islamic stance could go back to a sort of pro-Israel Russian social media propaganda machine. Yeah? We're saying that because we know that there's pro-Israel, pro-Russia propaganda on social media. Like, that's how Russia are doing it, isn't it? They're getting into Twitter and all that and feeding all this shit. It's been proven, hasn't it? And Alan is one of them. Because it's not just so between the lines, but what he's saying there is you can't trust these people because they don't support the Israeli agenda. He already mentioned Ukraine and Russia. You know, if they don't support the Russian agenda. Mandelson's bad, yeah. I'm not going to disagree with that. You know, I'm not saying that Keir Starmer's the best one in the world, but like, it's just the reason Alan's making his TikToks is because he's been manipulated by Russian and Israeli propaganda on the internet. Like, he's been radicalised by these fucking weird shits on the internet. It's so fucking weird, isn't it? You know, like, where does he get his opinions from? It used to be that people got their opinions from the Sun newspaper and Jeremy Kyle, but now people get their opinions from like TikTok and Twitter, don't they? And this is the result of someone like Alan failing to navigate the online space, and he doesn't believe what the mainstream tell him. He's a conspiracy guy. He thinks for himself. But look what he's like. If this isn't the most fucking mainstream right-wing thing I've ever seen, like, isn't the right-wing mainstream the most mainstream fucking elite one? So you're not working against it, are you? Like, you know, a man like Alan has decided to get up in the morning and say, I'm going to attack the left-wing government that we have today. That's my thing I need to do. I'm going to attack Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner on the internet. That's what I need to do to make things better in the world. Like, it's very much something that people on a particular side of an agenda would be doing. Alan's and the like are the reason Farage thinks he'll be Prime Minister. Yes, you're right, but, you know, here we are ridiculing them for their clearly deficient thinking. And whilst there are a lot of people with deficient thinking, I think there are a lot more that aren't deficient and can just see it. Like, the more it plays out, the more transparent it becomes as well. Grifters don't well, you can fool some of the people all the time and all the people some of the time and that, you know, but I don't think grifters, you know, win out long term. So yeah, it's just horrible, isn't it? Horrible politics. It's a shame, because I thought there was going to be so, like, can we find something that's a bit more cheerful before we stop looking at Alan and, you know, feel better about the world? Can you do a funny one?
I don't know about you, but I get up early. I love football. I switch on TalkSport. Ding! 6 o'clock. Yes, let's go. I'm driving around. What's happened to last night's football? Villa won, whatever. And there he is, Adam Brazil. Again, he's not there today. No warning. This is a pattern. No explanation, just gone.
Are you suggesting he's an alcoholic?
Anyway, standing in today, Adrian Dunn, standing in at Cheltenham, Savan Avon, or whatever she's called. I want to listen to Alan Brazil.
Good question. Where's Alan driving at 6 a.m? Good question. Driving back from somewhere at 6 a.m. more likely, isn't it?
He's warm, he's interesting, he's fun. Now here's the thing, this isn't new, it's a pattern. One day he's there, laughing, joking, talking for all day. Silence. He's got earache, he's got this, he's got vertigo, he's got that, he can't come in today. And they're forever phoning somebody up. Can you come and be Alan Brazil for the day? Well, they can't be Alan Brazil for any day because they're not Alan Brazil. And we don't get a warning. If you were to say to me, today, there's no Alan Brazil, we've got someone Ahern or whatever it's called, Shabana, then I wouldn't listen.
It's turned into a race issue or a misogyny issue. If it turned out to be a woman, like an Asian woman, I wouldn't listen.
I want to hear Alan Brazil. And stop this, like, just putting somebody in the studio, like, waking them up at 6 in the morning.
Good shout, Red Fan. He doesn't even own a car. He's just an old man who gets up at 6 in the morning to go driving around listening to the fucking talk sport on the radio. I mean, I don't even believe that. He doesn't get up in the morning, does he? Like, it's only if he's still awake the night after the night, big night of poker.
Morning or 5 in the morning, get in the studio now, he's not coming again. And how does he keep his job? And if he's not well enough to do it, maybe he'd be a great landlord, wouldn't he? He'd be a fantastic landlord. Then he could, like, go up to his room, come down, put an hour in of joking and go back to his room, and no one's going to complain like I am.
That's not the job of a landlord, to just spend an hour on the floor joking with the customers and then go back up to your room. I swear that's what Alan used to do when he was the landlord of the pub, because they used to say he'd sit in the office looking at the cameras, didn't they? And I wonder where those cameras were. But Alan thinks that being the restaurant manager means that you entertain the customers. You're the bit of zhuzh on the floor. Fetch him a bottle of wine. That one's on the house. Oh, lovely to see you. And then just go back up to my room for a bit. Like, being a pub landlord requires all the different jobs.
No. Anyway, so we've seen it all before, and listeners aren't stupid. They joke about it now. What's the excuse today? Here's where it gets interesting. Maybe beyond the jokes, there's a real question. Is he really ill?
Are you suggesting he's an alcoholic? Because we've gone pub landlord, picture of him with a pint, going on about the Guinness, can't get up to come to the work, has days off intermittently, illness, like alcoholism is an illness. Are you sort of saying this man's an alcoholic?
Is it something they're not going to tell us? Has that lifestyle finally caught up with him? This is a man who's lived life properly. His words, not mine. We're only here for a visit. Fair play to him. But breakfast
ChatGPT's kicked in again.
radio isn't forgiving. It's 4 a.m. he's got to get up. Day after day. Imagine that. That catches up with anyone. Now, let's be fair. There's no official drama today, no big announcement, no panic. More likely, just another short illness. Maybe that ear issue again. But the pattern, that's what people are noticing. Because when it keeps happening, and no one explains it, people start filling in the gaps themselves. And the story lives in people's minds. It's not what we're being told, it's what we're not being told. So today is off again. Probably nothing serious. But every time this happens, more people start saying the same question. How long can this carry on? Because at some point, it's not just a day off. It's turned into something bigger. Hope you get well.
ChatGPT bloody T on that at the end there. How can you get ChatGPT to write your video about why is Alan Brazil not at work today? Like, that is weird. Like, you don't have an opinion on that yourself. You wanted, like, that's my point. It's like, it's opinion pieces that's what's so weird about this. It's like, if you've got an opinion and you research it with ChatGPT, that's one thing, yeah. But Alan's opinion is just like, whatever ChatGPT said about that is now his opinion. Like, he's read it for the first time ever then. Like, why do you need it to make a video for you about that? That doesn't make sense.